Hey, Spuddies! Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome back to Let's Play Civilization 6 as Kaiser Caesar, the most beautiful, the wonderful, and war has been triggered. We are about to start conquering Gran Colombia, so that is going to be the main objective for this episode. Right, we have a little bit of warrior monk action over here. You don't quite have enough money to upgrade. We can get a decent amount of artillery on the front line. Bring you forward. Now we do want to make sure that we get a lot of pillaging done here. We don't want to just blow up each city. While it would be nice to conquer the world in a handful of turns, we need to do more than that. We actually need to build an economy out of this war. And so that is going to be one of our main objectives, is actually just doing a ton of pillaging to try to accumulate as much money as possible. But I think we have basically as big of an army as we'll need to get started. We can probably build more army. Right now I'm focusing on getting great generals and maximizing my gold per turn so that I can continue to update the army that I already have, and then we'll maybe look into building a bigger army. But our goal is to get into position. Every single time we see a mine, we definitely want to pillage that. We also want to pillage for faith. We do have good uses for faith this game. So to that end, we're going to go ahead and pillage. And well, before I pillage again, what I'm going to do here is unlock for 1,000 gold, take out logistics, and instead I'm going to plug in raid. This one right here, total war, pillages gained, our yields gained from pillaging are increased 50%. Out of curiosity, do I have any wonders available that will give me +1 card? No, so it looks like they've all been built, which means I will eventually conquer them. Let's have a look. So the Potato Palace, I cannot see. What about the Forbidden City? Can't see that either. What about Alhambra? So the Alhambra is down here. I will get that one. And then has anyone built the Big Ben? No. Okay, so we might be able to get an extra few cards, and those extra cards will come in real handy later on. Now you can't actually reach that city. You go there. You go there. We just want to swarm them with artillery. We also want to get this pillage. That's 1,000 gold. So that basically paid for me redoing my government and should hopefully pay itself off over the course of a few turns. The extra cash will come in super handy when I'm upgrading my units. And I want to be pretty cuirassier heavy here early so that I can spread out and get all the pillaging done. Speaking of pillaging and killing, I guess it's time for Papayan to die because I pillaged all the mines, so everything else I don't care about too much. We will be keeping the city, and we will be putting governors in there, namely Victor. He's my most effective loyalty guy, and he should protect that city. And then otherwise, the city doesn't really need to do much. I guess I'll slowly build a monument and a granary and tell it to focus on food and production. Now, hitting a player with artillery armies is an exceptionally effective way to completely obliterate his civ. And these cuirassiers are very, very hard to hurt. We definitely want to have at least one cuirassier down here. Now, ideally, I would have a great general, but I haven't yet found or obtained one, which is slightly unfortunate. Not completely necessary for our game plan. I was ravaged by a natural disaster. I will add that proposal because that could actually be a really well-timed injection of gold from the other players giving me money. So we are up against line infantry, Gran Colombian line infantry. Let's make sure we vote this up. We definitely want this to pass. We want this one to fail. Although if the military emergency passes, it's not the end of the world. So the aid request passed, the military emergency failed. That's perfect. So we will be getting injections of gold from Poland. Well, you know, I don't know how much money they're going to be willing to give me. So why is your combat strength so high? I guess you are getting great general bonus, oligarchy, ideal terrain. You're just a tanky boy. I guess I'll blast you with artillery to get you sorted. I'm going to fortify. Well, it's a lot of damage to take, but as long as he doesn't have like ranged units nearby, it should be fine. All right, let's go ahead and blast this city of Caracas. Let me double check. Yeah, that should be fine. We can take this city as well. Boom. We'll keep that city. The city will also need a garrison. And I guess Amani is a good use here. Put her in there. That's 169 turns before that city flips. And my hope is here that I have preemptively outproduced my enemies. That by building so much stuff right before the war that they are not really able to efficiently fight me. Right, we'll upgrade these knights for 1,000 gold. So we have a ton of cuirassiers. And we're on our way to tanks. Now I think in the city of Arpinium, I'm going to peel back the veil. I'll probably not finish this encampment training. Now, I almost forgot that we're playing on Marathon, so things take a very long time. Factory, a bank, a university. The bank would be nice for the 13 gold per turn, but how much more worth it would it be? I think the 13 gold per turn bank is worth it. And when do I unlock railroads? Basically, the second I finish combustion, I can get to work on building railroads. So why don't you get me a comfortable 3 military engineers to support my army, and then go back to building cuirassier armies and artillery armies. Now, it'll take a very long time for them to build, but at least it will be resupplies coming. I'm going to do something similar in Puteoli. Now, I guess technically Puteoli should be building builders to be sent to the front line, which is honestly not a terrible use of the city's production. It's the most efficient place for me to make builders. And then Mediolanum does have an encampment, so I'll finish the encampment training and start producing cuirassiers and artillery. And the goal of this is just to have units sort of on the way. These are units that are in supply. They're constantly going to be new units refreshing the front line over a period of time. And then hopefully the railroads will make it much easier for those units to get to the front line. This cuirassier right here took a bit of damage, but we can go ahead and promote him with barding, which will make him much more tanky versus these city shots. Now, thinking about positioning, we definitely want someone on top of this. We'll put you there, put you there. Artillery move forward, artillery move forward, artillery move this way, artillery move this way. I have a builder, I can do a bit of repairing. We managed to grab ourselves an art museum in Ostia. So what else would it be nice to work on? It could be nice to have a constant supply of light cavalry, things like this. I'd also like to plug in the cavalry production card. It's just like my government is really, really tight right now, so I can't really afford to do that. I think I'm also missing a lot of traders and I don't have the cash to really buy them, so I'm just going to quickly get all my traders out of Ostia. There's a decent amount of trade routes that I could kind of get going towards my capital from these cities. And why don't you take that pillage? You step over here, you go there. Artillery move forward, artillery move forward, artillery move forward, artillery follow. You can't reach the city. You're going to fall back to heal. You step forward. Get rid of him. Close. The city is now under siege. We can get ourselves another artillery army. And we're still not using all of our oil. City of Velitrae can go ahead and place its campus. I don't think that's what we're going to do though. If we're taking a look at the production in here, it's a very, very long time just to build even basic units. But maybe that's the thing to do. I'll quickly grab a builder. No, I'll send a builder. You don't really... I'm scientifically ahead enough now to the point where I don't think I need to upgrade my tech. I just need to continuously produce units that make use of my tech. So cuirassiers and artillery are on the way. Essentially, I'm going to be, rather than trying to convert my production into more science and production, I'm converting my science and production into units, which will convert into a better sim by conquering, rather than actually like building more stats. Does that make sense? Now, you could bomb this city, but I'm going to move you here, bomb the city of Bogota. You go there, you go there. So we're simultaneously invading two cities, and our units are getting more and more leveled. Nice, we finished a settler in the capital. We can go ahead and send them off to go capture a bit of oil for us long term. We need one over here, one over here. Need a few of these. There's also potentially some settlers here. Do I bother pillaging these science things? This is worth 3 turns of science. It's currently a campus with 4 adjacency, a library and a university. Libraries and universities, if I go check the value here, are worth about 13 science per turn. So it would take potentially dozens of turns for this to, like if I were to capture this, dozens of turns to return on a single pillage. So I'm going to go ahead and do the pillaging, especially because that's 50% higher than it normally would be, thanks to the social policy cards that I have plugged in. Right, let's begin the bombardment. 1, 2, 3. City's already under major distress. I don't see anything worth pillaging for money here. I might be able to get that campus a little bit. Grab this campus, get rid of that Commandante General. This isn't really a lightning war. It's taking us a few turns to break through, but it's a relatively fast war compared to like a standard speed game. Because again, remember, 3 turns is equal to 1 turn on standard speed. Now there's colonialism. We could make use of native conquest, but most people don't have that big of an army. I don't think Raj is particularly useful. Colonial taxes could be useful once we actually start conquering outside of Arctica. But by that point, we should be well and truly snowballed, like beyond a reasonable doubt. So let's go ahead and pillage this. We want to get to... we already have steel, so we'll get maximum cash for killing here. Do we want to wait or do we want to kill it this turn? I suppose we kill it this turn and get that gold injection. Boom. That was about 1,000 gold there. Should pop up here. No, it didn't pop up. Yeah, we got about 1,200 gold out of that. So we'll keep this city. Rebellion in 4 turns. Bit of a problem. Can we kill Bogota this turn? There's combustion boosted. Blow you up. Capture the city. Rebellion in 4. Can I get you down into Guayaquil? Yes, we still have force modernization plugged in, so we can happily upgrade these to tanks. We're not using too much oil. We have people on the way to collect more oil. So we should be good. We'll keep these cities. And already the world trembles beneath my hooves. I think Panama is next. We'll redirect the troops from Guayaquil to Panama and then from Bogota to Cali. So we'll just try and sweep in and around and then look to sweep down into Norway. Thankfully, there's a ton of stuff to pillage here, which I'm very, very happy about. 3 artillery to the north and 3 artillery to the south. I think I can afford to upgrade 1 more cuirassier to tank. Go ahead and take crew weapons on these artillery. That'll give them a little bit of extra defense when they're being attacked by these cities. Also, I got Jacob Fugger, who has the funniest guy's name in the entire game. So he'll give me a bunch of gold and a couple of envoys, which might allow me to take control of a city-state that's particularly important to me. I already have the control of the majority of city-states I care about. I'm going to retake control of Cahokia, mainly because that's a huge influx of gold. Otherwise, I like to sit on my envoys and I'll check this periodically. It would be nice to get back control of Mohenjo-Daro, actually, just because of the huge amount of culture that would give me, which will allow me to unlock fascism faster, and fascism gives you +5 combat strength, as well as lowering war weariness. Now, if we look at the city of Caracas, it's in bad shape, but I think we can build a bath here. Unfortunately, I can't build it next to the firs. But that is +2 housing and an amenity, so I will do it. Every amenity matters for my entire empire, remember that. So I get a cheeky little pillage there. Won't be able to do much with these artillery for a turn or two because we're focused on making sure that we maximize our pillaging and stuff like that. So like, for example, this artillery army right here just took 3 shots, but a single promotion basically handles that issue. Go ahead and pillage there. You move here, you go there. Can you swap with him? And now he's in range of shooting the city. I've got my artillery here to blow up Panama. Can we kill Panama this turn? I don't know if we want to because of the loyalty issues. I think we would rather wait until we're closer to blowing up Cali as well, which might be a turn or two away. So, trade route completed. I'm trying to think of which cities do not have trade routes. I think everything like Hispalis, like beyond Hispalis, doesn't have a trade route. And so what we want to do is we want to put trade routes in like Popayan and send them home to Rome. So we can start to build up these new cities, and also these new trade routes should actually be fairly high in gold value because they'll be traveling a lot through a lot of my own cities. So if I go by production, you can see here, this one's worth 10 gold straight to Rome, partially because I'm getting 6 gold from landmarks along the way, 4 gold from other bonuses, and a little bit of gold from trading posts and stuff like that. So all of these trade routes should progressively get better, and more importantly, this actually makes these cities a little bit viable. Popayan is just a kind of a terrible city in terms of positioning, but we might be able to turn it into something useful. Right, let's get all this artillery in range like this. So next turn we'll be able to obliterate the city, looking for pillages or potentially units. That's the city blown up. Let's capture it. 69 turns until loyalty flips. Full loyalty in 13 turns. You get installed around the city. Any pillages? Tons of pillages over here, so I definitely want to get units over here because there's a ton of stuff we can make money and faith from. Right, let's blow up the city of Cali. Boom, entire city gone in a single turn. Thank you very much. I will be keeping it, of course. Pillage here, and we're getting closer to those pillages. Nice thing is we can start to blow up Maracaibo. I will take opportunities to level up my units though. Even if it slows down my overall like turn by turn war, I think having highly promoted units will speed up the it slows me down for a turn or two, but I think that'll speed up the overall war in general. Right, so a settler is in position. Gonna grab that delicious oil. +3 era score, very nice. I definitely think I buy a builder here. Have I unlocked? No, I haven't unlocked plastics, so we'll go ahead and research plastics. And the second I have plastics, I'll buy a builder and start getting this oil online to refill my oil coffers, because I am using 3 oil. I'm losing 2 oil per turn. That does give me 50 turns before I have an issue, which is a very, very long time. More than 50. Yeah, 50 turns or more to find access to more oil. We have steam power, which is going to give us access to railroads, so we can build railroads. I don't yet have the military engineers. I think I'm in the process of constructing them. Yep, the first one's going to come out in 3 turns, and we can start railroading, which will mean that any of these reinforcements that I'm producing will be able to get to the front line very, very quickly. Right, Maracaibo, time for you to meet your maker, although that's not before I get myself a little bit of pillaging off you. Now, when it's a non-gold pillage, we don't need to get every single pillage off. But if we could get most of the pillages off, that would be perfect. But in particular, improvement pillages are really, really good because it takes like only a single builder action to get them back. I don't know how many more cities Gran Colombia has, but it can't be too many. Right, we're repositioning. Pillage, 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 pillage. Kaboom! Nice, we got the bank in Hispalis, we get the holy site in the commercial hub. Do I have a majority religion, and am I still Susan of Chinguetti? I am Susan of Chinguetti, but I'm missing a ton of faith because I don't have a majority religion. So whatever Hispalis is, I'll buy an apostle and a missionary, and we'll kind of like figure out which one is more efficient for us to spread our religion. Although one thing we want to be careful about is if we spread Buddhism and make it our majority religion, that means we'll have to kill Mongolia fairly early. And the reason for that is I don't want them to win a religion victory. I don't know, we'll have a little think about it. But other than that, for the city of Hispalis, we can just go ahead and continue to produce tanks and artillery. It'll take a very long time for them to come out, but when they do, they will be useful. Once a city has its trade route, like that's all we really need from it. Nice. +3 era score feels amazing. You have a promotion, I'll take that promotion. You have a promotion, I'll take that promotion. You move here. It's fine. Continue to pillage. We're going to delay conquering this city purely just to be able to get more pillages off. You know, there's very few places you're going to find such an efficient extraction of resources. I think it would be good to get combined arms to unlock uranium, so we could start stockpiling it for the future. And then we'll go straight for flight, I think. Unlocking flight will give me access to aerodromes and potentially proper airplanes later on. And those are really, really great support units. I'm going to retake suzerainty of Nan Madol because my culture is way down. And once I take it back, it's worth like 100 culture per turn to maintain suzerainty of Nan Madol. So I'll keep an envoy in the bank in case someone tries to break it again. So because I don't have my own religion, I can't start an inquisition. So that's an important piece of information that I need to know. Right, begin the bombardment of Barinus. Oh, you're not in range, so I'll need to move you there. And you're not in range, so I'll need to move you there. Okay, never mind. We'll begin it next turn. You come here. You'll pillage that next turn. You kill this trade route. I think we can take this city now. Oh, no. We have a thingy to kill. Right, first military engineer is out the gate and he can start producing railroads. I'll give you guys periodic updates on the railroads. I know you guys like that. Another oil-based settlement has come online. It's always odd that so much oil spawns out in these random ocean cities. Right, I've been leveling up this guy from pillaging. Pillage. So he's actually very, very close to a level up. Can these guys kill Barinus now? 2 and 3. There's the city broken. Right, Barinus has fallen. I think it's our city now. We can keep it. And I think there's no reason to delay on this one anymore. And that should be the death. There it is. Grand Columbia has died. And there's +6 era score for us. So we've completely wiped him out. Now the downsides of this is that with every single civ in the game, we managed to get grievances with. Should have been, unless I think they hated Grand Columbia. Yes. So you can see with the vast majority of saves in the game, we actually got grievances with. But those should bleed away fairly quickly. We're going to take like maybe 2 to 3 turns to get our army down to Norway's borders. And then we'll declare war on them. I'll need to think of a way that I'm going to deal with Tromsø and Hamar. I guess in theory I do have a navy that I could make use of. Like I have a few boats hanging around here or there. I don't know if that's going to be enough. I would need battleships armies. I mean, I guess I technically have access to battleships. No, I think what I'll do is I'll just conquer the majority of his mainland and then leave him on 2 cities. Ooh, baby, you know what I want. I want to make builders. I think it's safe to denounce and declare war on Norway right now. We can use our Golden Age war, so it'll be very, very low grievances at the start of this war. Yeah, let's just go all in with artillery. We even have a couple of tank units in the way. I don't even think Norway is going to really be that strong. Also, we have a ton of gold in the bank. I think part of this is just coming from this aid request. People tell me all the time that aid request does not give you money, and they'll need to explain where all this money came from. Some of it came from conquering, for sure, but I feel like a decent chunk of it came from this aid request. Because whenever I get an aid request targeting me, even with a single civ, I just end up with like an insane amount of money. Maybe that's confirmation bias. Who knows? But I just always notice it. Now, again, you know, human perception is biased and unwieldy. Yeah, I want to pillage this. Perfect. You go there, you go there, you go there, you go there. So now we're consuming a lot of oil because I've continued to upgrade my units. All right, Bergen, it's time for you to meet your maker. Oh my god, there's so much pillageable terrain here. It's so nice. Boom, boom, boom. I want you in my room. Look at all that money that we just got. Okay, so we did actually get plastics and I forgot to buy the units. Let's see. So there are 3 charge builders, so I'll need 2 of them. The builder over here, they cost about 2,000 gold each, which is not so bad in the grand scheme of things, considering we make a considerable amount of gold from pillaging. I'm loving the double pillage of the industrial zones and the campuses, giving me a ridiculous amount of money. Here comes the oil. 2 new oil rigs just went online, which should just about cover our current consumption and then give us a little bit of a growth towards the future. Yeah, so we'll start to be able to stock up oil again, which should then mean that we'll be able to stockpile units that aren't quite ready to fight on the front line but are necessary for the long-term war effort. God, I'm just actually getting so much science from pillaging and gold, honestly. So much everything from pillaging. Am I going to take out Skedsmo? It doesn't look worth it. I probably will, just for the sake of having the entire continent to myself. Nice thing is my tanks are actually able to punch these cities and not lose much health, which will speed up the rate at which we can conquer them. I mean, like for the cost of like 5 to 10 health to get a hit on a city, that seems pretty good. Alright, Skyn, time for you to meet your maker, I'm afraid. You would level up from the skill, so I'll get the kill with you. Perfect. We'll keep that city. I'll kill this encampment just because I don't want to get shot as I walk past it. Would you go blow that up for me? And I can bring my artillery straight down to start hitting Christiansand. Right, let's go ahead and blast Christiansand. Get all these bad boys to take them out. I think we can take the city this turn, actually. Yeah, we can. Boom, another city is mine. Thank you very much. First time we've had negative loyalty in a little while, so we'll grab Victor and we'll slap him down there. Let's move in position on Skedsmo. Should be a pretty quick kill, and honestly by the time we kill that, some of my railways will be online. Actually, speaking of railroads, you should be able to see the nice green line on the minimap here. It's we've got a railroad going from Rome all the way to our reinforcement area. It's still quite a ways to the front line, but I have one engineer running back and he'll be connecting up all my older cities, and then I'll have 2 engineers leapfrogging each other, potentially even 3 engineers leapfrogging each other to get to the front line and connect up all these cities too. I may continue to produce military engineers here. I may add another 2. I just want to have my empire connected up at railroad. It's a really, really fun thing, and it lets you move units around. So I think I did just capture Alhambra, which does open up the potential for retainers here, and retainers would help a lot with my amenities. I do have a bit of an amenity problem at the moment. I could also plug in craftsmen. I could also plug total war up here, and this opens up a wildcard slot for me, and that wildcard could be literally anything that I want it to be. Like if I were to plug in liberalism right now, that would be 18 amenities. Could be quite helpful. Chivalry would allow me to produce units faster, although I'm producing modern era units, I think. I think I plug in liberalism because even if a few cities get kicked out of low amenities, it's a significant boost in my yields. So amenities and war readiness are important to take into account. Because the fact that Leventa is at -1 amenity is taking off 10% of the yields here, which is a really, really bad vibe. Anything I can buy with faith right now. I could get a great admiral. Workshops provide +3 culture. I did get Mausoleum, so it could be another good Leonardo game. Last game's Leonardo was actually just so clutch. It was a really, really good Leonardo game. I'm just going to buy him. Why not? Let's get a move on to Nidaros. I don't think we can get a full surround on the city because it is, and when I say full surround, I mean we can't put the city under siege. That's just because it has access to the ocean. And in order to put a city with access to the ocean under siege, you have to have a boat or some unit that can act zone of control on the water tile adjacent to the city. Would be a minor defeat to attack here. So I think instead I'll just continue to level. Thank you very much for the free city. Now who's close to a level? You're close to a level. You have leveled. So if I kill the city with you, you'll level. Promotion available. Perfect. 2 more Norwegian cities that we care about, and then we can look into piecing him out. Now we can't piece him out for another 17 turns, so we'll be dealing with him sending stragglers of units at us. That's just going to be our life for a little while. But we can completely obliterate Nidaros in basically a single turn here. If I capture with you, you wouldn't level either, so I'll capture with you. That way you're in a city that you can heal. We should be officially really bad on the diplomatic favor. Yeah, -10 from occupied capitals or penalty, as well as from carbon emissions, and we should start getting negatives from grievances as well as we rack those up. Now the nice thing is we are in a golden age with the 2 arms golden age era thingy, so we're not getting too bad grievances with people. So this is the leapfrog military engineer technique. You take the military engineer at the back of the line and you use the extra movement to run to the front of the line, then you build a railroad, and then you do the same thing again with the next guy. So they basically leapfrog over each other, and rather than building one railroad at a time, you can kind of link these guys together and use the bonus movement from building the railroad itself to actually accelerate how quickly you can build the railroad. It's kind of a fun little technique. You can have up to 4 guys. As long as the road already exists, I think you can have up to 7 military engineers in a row. No, sorry, it's 5. I think you can have 5. I was doing the math in my head. It's somewhere between 5 and 7. I haven't actually ever tried to hit the maximum because it's completely unnecessary. You would basically cross your empire in 3 turns. The limit goes way up if you have the logistic card plugged in. That's probably why I was thinking of 7, because that's what I normally do. I have the logistics card plugged in. Right, so let's loop this tank around, revealing Stavanger. You can hit the city. You can't hit the city. Surprisingly, neither can you. So only one of these guys can hit the city, so we'll have to loop around with our artillery. You know what would be an interesting bonus for a civ, if you wanted to make a civ quite powerful? It would be that when they complete a market or a lighthouse, they would instantly get their trade route. I think that would be actually a really interesting civ bonus. It's not overwhelmingly powerful, but it would make them quite interesting. Right, 1 and 2, blasting the city. Step into there, 1 and 2. There we go. Aelsund is about to fall. Bring our artillery forward. You have to go this way. I want to get this mine if I could. I want to get this mine. And I want to get this aqueduct. Those are all worth gold. And the gold is key to keeping my momentum up. Then Vanguard is about to fall. We've already completely obliterated that city. This guy actually has a garrison, which is slightly annoying. Do we want to kill it this turn? Is there anything worth pillaging? I guess if we wait a turn, we could get this lumber mill. So I will wait a turn. Waiting a single turn to get a couple of thousand gold seems pretty worth it to me. Right, that takes care of all of Norway's mainland cities. Who's our next target? I guess we're going to head and attack Poland and Mongolia at roughly the same time. This Mongolian attack looks like it's going to be really annoying to push through this mountain pass. But once we get through that mountain pass, it won't be too bad. I was kind of hoping to have slightly more reinforcements around here, but barely any of these reinforcements have actually made it through. We're still like building our first couple artillery armies. So that's why it's really, really important to get your pre-builds in, because it's actually quite hard to reinforce a late game army with units. And that's why those units are also so precious and you need to keep them alive. Part of the problem is we don't really have good like militaristic city-states on the map either. If there was a few more militaristic city-states, we might have been able to like sustain better military production. Now, this is Mongolia, ran by Kublai Khan. Do I want to declare war this turn? I guess I will. I guess I'll denounce them this turn and we'll be ready to attack by next turn. Jesus, a trade route to Kristiansand is also worth 4 production compared to Rome. Why is that worth so much? I guess it's just like a really far trade route that goes through a lot of cities. It's kind of like the ideal thing that we want to do. Settled a little city next to Ha Long Bay. This one doesn't actually have that much in the way of oil. Just the one little oil here, but it's also just a nice city. Like, it's fun to settle. It's just fun to settle cities. What can I say? It's just a really fun game. Sometimes I sit back and I realize that I play computer games for a living, and it's genuinely the best job that I could ever have. Let's go ahead and declare a Golden Age penalty, or not Golden Age, Golden Age war with low grievance penalties. That's what I was trying to say. And we should be able to get a kill on Keshkar fairly quickly, honestly. And then we'll get set up for Poland as well. A few of my tanks were a little bit hurt, so they'll be falling behind. We have plenty to supply our front line. We are going to be annoyingly going up against winged hussar corps. Poland is doing quite well on the military score, so the war with Poland will be a bit slower than usual compared to our other wars that we've been having. That doesn't necessarily mean that it will be slow. But I suppose after fully killing 2 players in a single episode, this is as good as a place as any to end. One thing I do want to show you before I end though, is the current extent of the railroad, covering about a quarter of the continent's cities. Now we do need to loop up a few more, but we're doing pretty well. And when I say a quarter, I mean a couple of little extra railroads and we connect them up. So that's what I'm saying. A quarter of the cities. But yeah, we live in interesting times. I'm excited to see the conclusion of this. We have so much gold. I really, really like the domination gold bonus, and it's been really, really fun to play around with it in a marathon game. Super, super fun to get so much tempo and actually like outpace the AI really early. But that's it. That's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.